It is still hard to believe that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 has been released to the world and that the public finally have their hands on it. It still feels like yesterday, the world was baffled to find out that a AAA Spider-Man title would be getting made by Insomniac Games with a rocking white spider at the front of it all. And it's safe to say that the previous two titles have had an amazing run, with the majority of fans loving them. Besides a couple of narrative decisions, it seems that gameplay-wise, the fans grew to love Insomniac's style of the web slinger. You know, except those who are still attached to a certain old game. And so when the time came for the sequel that would have the notorious hunter who craved a worthy opponent, it was the perfect opponent for both Miles and Peter. But then getting Venom on top of that? Oh baby, we were destined for greatness. And so that's enough about the past. What about the present? The game is out and man, they kept so much a secret when it came to experiencing it. While I do think they did need to show Sandman and Mysterio just a couple days before launch, I can understand on a business level. But let's talk about that intro. The way the game opens up with Peter having to take another L when it comes to having another failed job due to Sandman was dirty but inevitable. And the way they have you fight Marco without the black suit was for sure intentional. What a tease. The life of Peter tackling the responsibility of being Spider-Man will always be a hard and depressing one. It is his fate to always have a life of grief and sadness to help drive him to make sure no one else does. But even Spider-Man has his breaking point. And so when it came time to have a new suit with the ability to quote unquote make his pain go away, Peter would be immediately attached to it. Insomniac did an amazing job portraying not just the brutality of the symbiote Spider-Man and the absolute meme-worthy performance of Bully Lowenthal, but to me, most importantly, the absolute heartbreak and tragedy that was deep within Peter's heart. Something so full of pain that it was locked behind Peter's mask. To take a reference from My Hero Academia, Peter is supposed to be the hero who's always smiling, a symbol of peace. However, this was indeed a lie, and he only would put a smile on and quip to hide the fear and despair deep down. A pain that the symbiote exploited and knew would make Peter become the perfect host for him. And what's most tragic about all of this is that Peter truly felt that he needed the suit to be a better Spider-Man.
I need this suit. It makes me a better Spider-Man. All I wanted was to save everyone. MJ, May. Now this city thinks that I'm the problem.
You think I'm the problem?
But I'm not anymore.
I'm the solution.
Truly, he would be able to save his loved ones in the city he loves. This was something I have heavily theorized leading up to the release, where I believed Peter would be at his lowest and that he would gladly accept the symbiote to help him become the better Spider-Man. And that when it came to disposing of the suit, like a representation of disposing of his final sin, Peter would slowly hang up the mask, making way to his disciple, his apprentice, the new legacy to wear the mask, Miles. While playing through the game, I found it interesting that, at least to me, it seemed like Miles had more to do in terms of missions, both main and side, as well as felt the most versatile when it came to abilities and damage output. I could just be delusional, but I believe that this was intentional to help lay the seeds that would sprout into the reveal that yes, Peter Parker is slowly giving up the mantle of Spider-Man and giving most of the responsibility to Miles. Now, this was something I once again theorized about. Please go check out my videos. I'll link them down below or whatever. Now, it won't be at 100% yet, as pretty much Peter makes it seem like if Miles really needs his help for anything, it would have to be an Avengers level threat. Like, you know, a symbiote invasion, something I got right as well. I'm very proud, as you can tell. And Insomniac end the game with this as a big possibility. Think about it. Kraven quite literally smoked all of Peter's big bads, the likes of Scorpion, Shocker, Vulture, and from the looks of it, Rhino. Then when you put into the equation that Sandman and Mysterio are retired from villainy, Martin Lee giving up his abilities to help Peter give him anti-venom suit as well as wanting to atone for his sins. Black Cat is having a croissant in Paris, Kingpin is locked up, Lizard will definitely not be happening again, and oh yeah, Kraven is definitely smoked. That leaves no more big bads, or at the very least, ones that Peter and Miles know of. We obviously know that Chameleon and Carnage will play a big role, but that is for another video. And so yeah, Miles can totally take care of a city whose only corruption comes from common thugs and little does he know that he will eventually take on the role of a mentor from apprentice to train the inevitable Cindy Moon. Oh my god, I cannot believe it. I want to talk so much about it, but again, that's for another video. Let's talk about Harry and the way they portrayed him beautifully. I'm very happy they decided to go the route of having you know that he would become Venom, and for the player hoping it wouldn't happen, sort of like back in PS4 with Otto and his inevitable downfall. The game makes you truly fall in love with Harry as if you've always shared a bond with him since the beginning. And when it came time to the finale, where you have to confront Venom and Peter gives a heartbreaking plea to Harry to let him help him, with the inevitability of it being too late.
Fight, Harry! Fight! I can't. I'm done. You have to
Kill us.
Harry! Please!
Was tough. Especially the scream Yuri delivered once he believed that Harry had passed.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It sent chills down my spine. I'm excited to see where Harry goes from here, as it seems he will be getting the G serum, so we will most likely have to fight him as Goblin. Poor Harry. I'll quickly cover MJ, as for me, her past gameplay in PS4 never bothered me. I didn't see it as a pace breaker I actually enjoyed, taking a break from Spidey as it got a bit repetitive. However, Mary Jane in this game is a beast. Like, wow, she's packing heat and asking questions later rather than sooner. They truly perfected her integration to not just gameplay, but also in the Spidey team, making them an amazing trio. Also, that Scream cameo when MJ was taking 19 inches of venom absolutely blew my mind. Like, that was amazing, and it was definitely not on my bingo card. Small detail I loved about this game was the way they used color theory in characters' clothing to help show characters and feelings. Like Peter obviously rocking black clothing once under the influence of the symbiote, and Norman rocking greens whenever shown doing something mischievous, like putting Harry in the vat and when he visits Otto at the end of the game. Also, small note, I think the way they portrayed the side missions with Wraith was perfect, and how Arkham Knight should have tackled Hush. The future of the story for Insomniac's world looks brighter, and I know we are all anticipating the return to this wonderful world, whether it's DLC or the inevitable sequel. Now, I'll talk a bit about the combat. However, gameplay is never what I look forward to in the game unless it's Kingdom Hearts. And I'm happy to say that Insomniac delivered and made us feel once again as an unstoppable web slinger. I do miss all the gadgets from PS4, however, I can understand if we had access to them as well, literally we would be unstoppable. Obviously, I think it's safe to say that they made the difficulty, well, difficult. And while that's a good thing, I believe that sometimes there are instances where you will die unless you jump all over like a maniac and just mash buttons. I'm sure you've seen some videos of people getting stun locked to death upon arrival to a crime, and I think they should fix that. The only aspect of combat I hate is the parry. Now, the parry on its own is a perfectly fine and great integration. However, when it was introduced, I knew instantly that bosses would need you to be a parry master, especially towards the end of the game, like with Kraven and Venom fights. And I think it took away from the emotions from those fights, since I had to spend more time focusing on not dying rather than the situation and emotions the characters were in. I'm looking more specifically at the Peter versus Miles fight and the finale boss. But besides that, what an amazing game. I'm so happy with the final result, and I cannot wait for the new Game Plus to experience it once again. I would like to quickly ask, if you enjoyed the video at all, please consider hitting the like button as well as the bell icon to help notify you when I upload another Spider-Man or Kingdom Hearts video. And if you really like me, then maybe, just maybe, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It helps a lot. Expect a Spider-Man 2 battle damage and suit tier list in the future. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day and take care.